It's Sensi. So the question is right now, are we in the final act of Pursuit of Happyness 2? Yeah, Bo Lillian Jaden, executive produce. Or is this Sandra Bland too? I'm reading Talking to Strangers, Malcolm Gladwell. This is the large print edition. It doesn't work. I begged the world for reading glasses. It didn't happen, so I got these things that fucked my eyesight. Page 541. Sandra Bland is mismatched. She looks to Encinia's eye like a criminal, but she's not. She's just upset. In the aftermath of her death, it was revealed that she had had 10 previous encounters with police over the course of her adult life, including 5 traffic stops, which had left her with almost $8,000 in outstanding fines. She tried to commit suicide the year before after the loss of a baby. She had numerous cut marks running up and down one of her arms. She does her Sandy Speaks videos. Malcolm Gladwell continues to say, "We have a troubled person with a history of medical and psychiatric issues trying to pull her life together. She's moved to a new town, she's starting a new job, and just as she arrives to begin this new chapter in her life, she's pulled over by a police officer, repeating a scenario that has left her deeply in debt." For what? For failing to signal a lane change when a police car is driving up rapidly behind her. All of a sudden, her fragile new beginning is cast into doubt. In the 3 days she spent in jail before taking her own life, Sandra Bland was distraught, weeping constantly, making phone call after phone call. She was in crisis. Thursday, 5 p.m. So we're 3 hours until my 72-hour anniversary of having my life threatened by a security guard of the Spirit of Osilamar event for misperceiving an invisible boundary between a public and private event. I departed the venue. He was being highly aggressive. I asked to film a video of him and I conversing outside the hall. Of course, he refused. But that I might have something to say about him shouting at me, "You know you don't belong." I noticed no such thing to this very minute. He worried about his own potential liability. So he fabricated a story that I hid out in the bathroom. There are 5 witnesses, and actually 6. There was a event person also who could be found subpoenaed. Went in the bathroom, I used the bathroom, I made a very quick, and then I came and put on my compression socks and talked to the people I don't want these people to have to alibi me for trying to watch a dance performance. He fabricated a lie so he could go and tell both the conference people who had tried to portray it. You see, Malcolm and Luis, when you're being dehumanized, you can't. The shock of it, the physiological shock, especially as an autistic person, there goes my speech. from even the slightest amount of previous video having an encounter with a leaf blowing machine, let alone a white man in charge. His attempt to insert in my mind that you don't belong. You don't belong is bad enough in itself. That phrase didn't belong in Spirit of a Sealamon. You don't belong. I'm asking for restorative justice. No uncertain terms. This story must be published. That's all I've ever been trying to do to begin with. But I want to add something here, and it's 5 p.m. in the library. Nobody's here. It's just me, myself, and I. I have no humans to turn to. All I have is this video channel. And now I'm scared to death that the Spirit of a Sealomar people are going to try to take down my YouTube channel. So I lost my safe refuge of where to park to stay alive. I have nowhere to be. Nowhere to be in this nation. No way to stay alive. No place to be. As Sandra Bland had multiple police interactions for living while black, there's nothing on my YouTube channel with me being startled awake, vigorously assaulted by police and security guards over this past year. I can't count the times. Well over a dozen. What that Parks police officer did that I do not... Ow! I just keep trying. I'm trying so hard to stay alive. And making these videos are the only way I'm staying alive. To be out of memory and to not have recorded. He ordered me out of my vehicle. I had to get out of my shoes off because of the lymphedema. This is why I put my compression socks off, which is why there's no doubt that the people who saw me arrive in the bathroom and do what I did, they're not going to forget it. Because then I commented on the prep that they were doing versus the prep that I needed to do. Just to be able to walk there and watch the performance. I don't have anyone to send this to, Malcolm, Luis. And I don't... This is social impact. This is about getting me the stage I deserve to bring stand-up philosophy, staunchly anti-racist. I don't want to move on, as Malcolm Gladwell said, page 10. We have to look at this in the subtlety, and I don't care who judges me. Me being judged as weak for being autistic, I couldn't care less. If there's any way I can stop this happening to black humans, that's my job and responsibility, and I will not squander. I thought I'm just doing thought experiments. Whiteness has entrapped itself, and I'm not quite sure what I'm doing to attract all of this. Am I visibly poor? Almost. Barely 20% of Americans would consider me visually poor. My vehicle might look, after you see me time after time after time, as though I'm living in it. But also, again, most people say she's on a road trip in a tourist location. What am I being profiled for? Why was that simple interaction such that he could send 2 further levels of authority after me to cover his own ass? You see, the problem here is that any white person can accuse anyone of anything. The police will respond, and according to Malcolm Gladwell, they got all kinds of new rules. Very non-scientific beliefs about human emotion and personality and physiology. I don't know who to go to. I don't have anyone to talk to. I'm scared that my life is in jeopardy. And if it was just about me, I'd go ahead and go find out how to die. By the way, I'm not suicidal in the least bit. I've never wanted to live more. Never wanted to live more than to tell my story and stand up for the lives of Black humans as we end Black History Month. I want March to be Black Future Month, the month of my birthday. Women's Month, it should be Black Future Day as well. I got all kinds of these pivots, all kinds of these simple things. If enough people hear, it will ripple and it will change things. Philosophical method is powerful. And we don't see it now, but Malcolm Gladwell, Luis, I'm asking you to please do so. Luis, let's talk. I don't know that I'll be dissuaded from hashtagging Malcolm Gladwell like that'll work. Not worked before, but this is egregious violation of my civil rights, my humanity, and my potential to save our species from self-extincting in approximately 30 years with a valid definition of consciousness. I'm being targeted for having had to figure out how consciousness works in order to stay alive after toxic mold exposure, and wherein I lost 90% my capacity to walk and talk in my 40s. The amount of physiological stress I've endured, the slightest mental aberration. I'm trying to dedicate my body and mind to science. But I don't belong at a dance performance. Dance is medicine, by the way. I've had sleep taken away from me. I've had nutrition completely pulled out of my life. At a conference on biotech, I was denied my own medicine.